Welcome back to the day after talking Duck sports. We are back at it. We are 5 days in a wake up away from the start of the football season, and I can't tell you how super excited I am. So let's go ahead and do a schedule look. We'll toss out a record, and then we'll look at how to watch. So here we go. Here, so Oregon, his initial game is on the Big Ten Network. It is Idaho at Eugene. I don't see this game even be remotely close. Although there's a lot of working parts, I don't see Oregon showing very much in this game. I think this is just a have Dylan Gabriel get his feet wet, get the running game going, and then pull your starters and let the backups get that game experience that you're going to need later on. So I'm thinking Oregon is a four touchdown. I'm calling this game a four. It'll the Oregon will win by more than four touchdowns. We'll go by that. So all right, second game is Boise State, and that game is on Peacock. So, not every game is going to be on the Big Ten Network. Not every game is going to be on regular TV. Not every game is going to be on the Big Ten Plus. I guess those are only for non-TV sporting events. So, if you're gonna want to watch that game is gonna have to be watched on the streaming site Peacock. And we'll, like I said, we'll take a look at that here in a little bit. And then, I don't like. It's not on the blue turf. It's in Eugene, so I don't think Oregon has a problem with this game. I see that one as a 3 touchdown victory. And so we go to the third game of the season. That is at Corvallis. That is on Fox. Man, this game. Normally, I would say that this game wouldn't be a problem, but this game is a little early in the season, and a lot has changed in Corvallis, and I think that's going to be different, right? I mean, you're going to play a team that you kind of don't know a lot about now because they have a whole new coaching system, whole new play calling, whole new everything going on. However, there's not that much experience up there in Corvallis, so again, I don't see this game being a normal Civil War game. I think Oregon runs away in this game, and the Ducks are 3-0 after the third week. Right after that, they take another trip and they go down to UCLA, and it's hard to say what UCLA is gonna be. I don't think they have the players to keep up with Oregon. They got a brand new coach, and so it's because Chip Kelly went to Ohio State, so that's going to be a little bit of I think a filling out process. But I think by this game, I think Oregon's offense is just rolling along. I think their defense is solidified, if nothing else, simplified like they've had to do in the past. But I think Dan Lanning now has the players to really start shutting folks down and keeping that defense out there. And I see this kind of going back to the old school Oregon thing where you jump out to a lead because Oregon's defense is going to be really good and they're going to shut that down, and Oregon's offense should be even better and should be able to score. And I think once you start getting behind a few touchdowns, you start doing some things, and I think it just snowballs. And so I think Oregon runs away from the first four games. Then, then you get Michigan State, and you get, of course, the return of Oregon State's coach back to Eugene. And I don't know what to think about this one, really. Jonathan Stewart knows how to coach against Oregon, but again, I don't think he has all the pieces that he needs in Michigan State yet to give Oregon a lot of trouble. Also, this is going to be Michigan State's first trip out to Autzen, and I think between the trip, Autzen itself, and the fans, and Michigan State being brand new to Jonathan Stewart, and Michigan State being brand new, the other way around, Jonathan Stewart being brand new. I think Oregon, I think this game is close initially, and I think late in the second half, Oregon starts to run away with this game, and this game's another runaway. But this game is right before, of course, the giant Ohio State matchup. So Oregon needs to be very, very careful here and not look forward. They cannot look past Michigan State. All these Big Ten teams are going to want to beat Oregon. All these Big Ten teams are going to give it everything they can to welcome Oregon to the new league. So this is kind of a trap game, and they just cannot look past this game. This schedule this year is really gonna be a one at a time game. If Oregon starts looking ahead to any of these games, it's gonna be trouble, because even these low level teams that normally don't make a lot of noise in the Big Ten, because Big Ten's always dominated by like the Wisconsins, Ohio State, and Michigan. They need Oregon needs to be very careful not to look past any of these Big 10 teams. So that game is again on Fox, and so you should be able to watch it there. And then you have the big giant matchup. So what are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I expect Ohio State to be 5-0 and Oregon to be 5-0. I don't expect either of these teams to have losses showing up to this game. This will be a giant game day. This will be all over the place. This game is going to be insane. It's going to be Ohio State's first trip to Austin Stadium, I believe. First trip ever to Eugene, I believe, for Ohio State. And it's going to be something else. It's going to be wild. Man, it's hard to say how this game goes this early in the season, but I think Oregon wins it in the fourth quarter with their defense. I think Oregon wins it by 7 points, but it'll be a nail biter. I think it's a late Oregon score to win by 7. I think it'll be one of those games that's back and forth. I think both of these teams are going to show up. I think Oregon's defense is going to get a turnover, and that's going to change the tide of this game. And I think Oregon wins it to go 6-0, send Ohio State the first loss. And then we have Purdue at Purdue. So this game I was a little concerned about, because it's so easy to get up for this Ohio State game, to get that win, and then to go and be, oh man, we're on top of the world, and then you go to Purdue. Purdue is not a team that you want to overlook. Sure, they're not, the best team in there, but they will sneak up and beat you. They've done it to the other teams in the past. So this is a game that Oregon better circle on their calendar after this Ohio State game, because Purdue will want to knock them off. It's at Purdue. They'll be playing at home, and if Oregon doesn't show up, this is going to be a problem. However, I think Dan Lanning keeps the eye on the ball, and they get this victory there. Then we come back home, got Illinois. That should be a good game for Oregon to get some starters, some rest and stuff. And I don't foresee that game being too bad. Then they go back to Michigan, and this is where I think if Oregon stumbles, it's going to be Ohio State or it's going to be Michigan. And so I think Oregon's up for this game. I think going to this Michigan game, I know that Oregon has won there in the past, but now you're talking deep in the season, and you start to deal with injuries, and Oregon's depth is going to start getting tested. I certainly hope they win that game. They're certainly capable of winning that game, but I'm gonna mark that one up for a win. But it's gonna be a huge game. Then Oregon comes home to Maryland. That should be another win for Oregon. Go to Wisconsin. By then, Madison will be super cold as hell on November 16th. I think that, I mean, there's likely going to be snow on the ground. That's going to be crazy. Oregon's going to have to figure out a way to win in the trenches and in a running game. I think this game is close because of the weather, but I think Oregon pulls that out. And then we're going to see a severe beatdown against Washington. I think Oregon is going to beat the pants off of Washington in Eugene, a little payback for last year, and to solidify Oregon. So I know I ran through here and every single one was a victory, but I'm going to call Oregon. How many games I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to think Oregon goes 11-1 and is a 2 seed in the 12-team playoff. That's what I'm going to go with. 11-1, a 2 seed in the playoff. Oh man, if you're 11-1, can you get a 2 seed? Dang. All right, we're going to go 11-1 with a 3 seed in the playoff, because I think if a team loses a game, there's going to be undefeated. That's going to be 1-2. Yeah, we're going to go with that. All right, so that's the schedule. Now, what do we got here as to watch these games? So here's Peacock. You can pay $7 a month, or you got $8 a month or $14 a month. So you're talking $40 for September through January, or $70 for the premium version. You can also pay by the year. It's just $80 or $140 for the premium version. Either one, it's not that expensive. You know, if you're worried about it, I don't know how many games are going to be on Peacock. I don't know if it's really going to be worth it. And what you may do is you may just go month to month. You know, you may pay $8 and because Oregon will be playing Boise State in September. And then once September's over, you wait and see. So it's not a big deal. I know it kind of sucks a little bit, but there's other things that you can watch on Peacock if you're tired of like Netflix and everything else. There's a few things to watch to get you through. So I don't know. I mean, there's not that many games. Oregon's going to be playing in some big games, so I don't know how many of those won't be on TV between Fox and stuff. So maybe you only pay the $8 and it's only September that you really need to watch an Oregon game in Peacock. So there's that. All right. So the other thing is the Big Ten Plus. There is a there was a free year subscription if you've never had it before, and you could, let's see if I have it on here. What is it? So if you're an Oregon fan, Mighty Oregon 24, you can get a free year of Big Ten Plus subscription, and they're gonna have highlights and all kinds of other stuff on there. But if you're an Oregon fan and you like watching the other sports, you know, volleyball, soccer, softball, baseball, lacrosse, something else, I'm sure, tumbling, golf. This is where you can do that. It's free for a year, so why not? That's Mighty Oregon 24. And man, I don't know. Does that have okay, so Mighty Oregon 24, only the M is capitalized, no spaces, and it was working, so I'm assuming it probably is till the start of the season. That'll get you the Big Ten Plus for free. You can watch all these other games. So yeah. So other than your regular subscription, you know, you're talking $8, maybe $16 to watch all the games that you'll want to see. And so we're excited for this Idaho game. Excited to see the new team. And so yeah. So what are you excited to see? What do you want to see in this Idaho game that you're looking forward? What is it? Is it the quarterback play? Is it the defense? Is it the running back? So there's a couple things. I really want to see the health of Whittington coming back from injury. I've heard he's been doing really good. And I want to see a couple backup QBs. I want to see Dante Moore, and I want to see another one of the backups at least get a couple throws just to have some of that game experience. I think this game will be over at halftime, and Oregon should be able to get some of those backups in. And so, yeah, so I'm excited. So I really want to see some backup QB play. I want to see the running backs, and then I want to just see this defense just dominate up front like we know they can. But with that, we're going to get out of here for now. Thanks for watching, and we will be back next Sunday after the game to talk about that. With that, we're out. Much love all.